Okay, so your setup here looks good. So then the issue is just bringing it from here down to here. This is a -5. You missed the negative right there. So that will of course have a dramatic change on the whole problem. But then there's also something else I want to point out. So just to show you a mistake that you made, so even though you have to kind of redo the whole problem, going through the bottom here, you did correctly select your pivot. You found the largest negative, then looked in the column, and I assume you looked at the ratios. So this is 100 divided by 2, which makes 50. This is 50 divided by 2, which makes 25. So this is the first x-intercept you'd run into, so that's where you pivot. Perfect. So then you use that to get zeros above and below. Perfect. So then you assessed. You said I have a negative still in the objective equation. So now I look above and find the lowest ratio for the pivot around. So this is 50 divided by 2, which would make 25. That is the worst 50 divided by 2 ever. 50 divided by 2, so that's 25. Here, this is 50 divided by -5, which would be -10. We throw this one out immediately. We don't accept any negative intercepts because, remember, the big idea here, what we're looking at is something of the form where we have, a shaded region that we're trying to find the critical point, find the intersection that gives us the largest, or in this, the largest in this case because it's a maximum, the largest value, just like we were doing in the last section. So the issue that we're running into here is if you're going to keep a negative x-intercept, or in this case z-intercept, but it doesn't really matter, it's not even in our graph because we have the restriction that all of our variables, x, y, z, and so on and so forth, even the slack variables, all have to be greater than or equal to 0. So therefore, we don't pivot around the -5, we pivot around the 2. And then this one down here we ignore because 50 divided by 0 is undefined. So therefore, we throw that one out too. So your pivot's going to be up there. So anytime your ratio is a negative, that means your intercept is not in your it's not even in our possible it's not even a possibility to be in our solution set. So therefore, you just immediately throw them out. But other than that, you look like you're doing okay. So then, all right, so let's just assume that that was fine. So then we go down here and we say we have no more negatives. So then we're reading our answers. You're getting 50 divided by 2 is 25. Y is equal to 0. Z is equal to 50 divided by 2, 25, with a p-value of 200. Yeah, everything else looks good. So just those corrections. Obviously, make sure you keep your negatives. And then next thing, make sure if it's a negative ratio, you don't use it. Always use the smallest positive ratio. All right, I hope that helps.